Welcome back to another video in this YouTube series on Industry 4.0 and Smart Manufacturing. Today's video is on Second Industrial Revolution Part 2. The Second Industrial Revolution is the age of science and mass production with numerous inventions. In today's video, we are going to discuss two key technologies that led to Second Industrial Revolution, which are steel and oil. These two technologies form a backbone for production of modern buildings, machines, bridges, rails and automobiles. Now coming to first key technology, steel making. This period is also called as the age of steel. As we already know that the first industrial revolution included innovations in iron production but failed in production of low-cost steel for mass production. Then during second industrial revolution, steel began to replace iron with invention of mainly two processes in steel making that made possible for low cost mass production of steel. One process is Bessemer process and the other process is open hearth process. Because of these two processes, between 1850 and 1914, world steel production was increased more than 100 times. Basically, steel is iron that has been made stronger by heat and addition of other metals. The Bessemer process was the first method for mass production of steel invented by Henry Bessemer. Bessemer process is a way to manufacture steel from molten pig iron. This is by blasting hot air through melted iron to quickly remove impurities. The Bessemer process took only 10 to 20 minutes to produce several tons of steel. This made possible to manufacture steel at lower cost and by increasing the scale and speed of steel production and hence decreasing the huge labor requirement. The availability of cheap steel allowed building larger bridges, railroads, skyscrapers and ships. The next great advance in steel making was the Siemens-Martin process or open hearth process with an idea of melting together low carbon wrought iron and high carbon cast iron. In 1857, Siemens developed 70 to 80% heat saving regenerative furnace. The furnace operated at a high temperature by using regenerative preheating of fuel and air for combustion. The hearths were lined with a special silica brick linings to maintain the high temperatures. In 1865, Martin for the first time used Siemens furnace for mass production of steel. Some of the main advantages of open hearth process are: number 1. In this process, steel will not be exposed to excessive nitrogen which could cause high brittleness in steel. Number 2. It was easier to control. Number 3. Scrap steel was reused in melting furnace that led to lowering of cost in steel production. The open hearth process became the leading steel making process by early 20th century. Some of its applications were steel cable, steel rods, high pressure boilers and high tensile strength steel for machinery of powerful engines, gears and axles. With high quality of steel, it became possible to build more powerful guns and carriages, tanks, armored fighting vehicles and naval ships. The US steel industry production increased 68,000 tons in 1870 to 4.2 million tons in 1890. In 1860, Great Britain, France, Germany and Belgium collectively produced 1,25,000 tons of steel, and by 1913 the production reached to 32 million tons. Now coming to another important technology during second industrial revolution was the use of oil and petroleum as a power source. In the 1850s, scientists invented a way to convert oil into fuel, which is called kerosene. Refining of crude oil produces kerosene, which can be used in lamps to produce light or used as a fuel in cooking and heating. In 1859, Edwin Drake used steam engine to drill for oil near Titusville, Pennsylvania. By 1880s, oil wells produced 25 million barrels of oil in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. In 1870, John D. Rockefeller started Standard Oil Company. In 1880, Standard Oil Company controlled 90% of the rail industry of America. Now coming to petroleum, in 1848, the production and refining of petroleum began in Scotland. In 1850, James Young set up first commercial oil refinery at Bathgate. He could obtain a number of useful oils from it, one of which he named paraffin oil, which resembled like paraffin wax, and some other lubricant oils and naphtha were manufactured